Hello, Gene Schwimmer here. Welcome back to the vlog, and today I'm going to take a few minutes, I have some time, to solve the global warming crisis, or climate change, depending however you want to refer to it. So before I do that though, I just want to say a couple of words about the recent election we had in Georgia. And I know that there are people overseas watching this, so it's kind of inside United States baseball stuff, so just bear with me a second. But anyways, we just had an election to fill a vacant Republican seat for our House of Representatives, and what's important about this particular election is that it was supposed to be a bellwether, or that's how the Democratic Party was characterizing it, as a bellwether that would indicate the relative satisfaction or dissatisfaction of the American people with Donald Trump. I'm sorry, I forgot. This is New York. I'm on the 14th floor of a very high building in Midtown Manhattan, and people are a little crazy here about Trump. And okay, I'm really sorry about that. I'm not going to say the name. What I meant is the president, when people hear his name, they just go a little, crazy. And some people have even, as you just witnessed or heard, jump off the top of a building. So I don't want that to happen, so I'm going to be careful. I'm going to try to be careful. Anyway, so we had this election, and there were high hopes for the Democrat to pull an upset in what is a Republican district, and it didn't happen. So what happened was the Democrat that was supposed to win, or they hoped would win, he got about 48% of the vote, and you need 50% to avoid a runoff with all the other candidates. So now there will be another election of just the top two finishers. The final percentage was about 48% for this candidate. Donald Trump, okay, I didn't say the whole name, don't jump. Okay, the Republican presidential candidate carried this district by about 1.5 points, I think it was. So this candidate now for this seat, he came up about 2 points short. So it looks pretty normal for right now, and I would anticipate in the election, when they have the election in June, the runoff, that's what would happen. I don't see the Republicans who voted for the other Republican candidate switching their votes to this Democratic candidate. So that's probably what it'll be. So it'll be normal. But anyways, I just wanted to give some advice to my Democratic friends, and I have a lot of them because this is New York, and if I didn't have Democrat friends, I wouldn't have any friends, just about. So here's my advice. When you make a big deal about these special elections, when you call it a bellwether, when the national party pours in tons of money, when it's all over the news, what you do is you put that on the radar screen for the National Republican Party. You put it on the radar screen, the Republicans then bring in their big guns and they bring in money and they focus on it. And this happens time and time again. So here is my advice to my Democratic friends, which is to run a stealth campaign. My advice is to let these candidates run locally, quietly, the national party stay away, and then if the candidate wins, then you can crow. And if he doesn't win, then you say, well, it wasn't expected, and you don't have egg on your face. That's my advice. You don't have to take it, and if you don't take it, don't feel bad, because nobody takes my advice. That's why the world is in the shape that it is. Okay, now on to global warming. All right, well, I have to be honest, I'm Jewish, okay, so I know nothing about the global warmist faith or climate change faith, so I can't be as much help as I like to. But let's just assume for argument that there is such a thing. The earth might be heating up and we're all going to die. Okay, so if we operate on that assumption, I have some bad news and I have some good news. So the bad news, number one, is that the new president, whose name I won't mention, so don't jump, has made the Environmental Protection Agency do its job, which is to ensure that the country has clean air and clean water. And unfortunately, if you're a global warmist, global warming, climate change, whatever, does not fall within their purview. They don't have any legal right to spend money, do things about global warming. That's number one bad news. Number two bad news is there was a $100 billion international fund set up to help the poorer countries to comply with the new emission requirements. And unfortunately, the money is not materializing. The $100 billion is not coming. So that's a second piece of bad news. But now, here is the good news. Now, number one good news is that you may remember Al Gore said that we had until 2016 to solve this problem of global warming, and if we didn't, it would be too late. Well, this is 2017, so 2016 passed uneventfully and nothing happened. So, as a result, and this is the good news, Michael Mann, he of the famous or infamous hockey stick graph, has pushed the date back. So we now have until 2020. 4 more years. That's 4 more years until the Earth is reduced to a burning cinder. 4 more years to do something about it. And as I just said, the international community and the Environmental Protection Agency, they are not going to do anything about it. But fortunately, you've got me. So I'm going to solve the problem. So all you have to do, and it's very simple, is just say 3 words. And here they are. Klaatu Barada Nikto. Klaatu Barada Nikto. Got that? Okay, now just repeat after me.
Klaatu Barada Nikto. Klaatu Barada Nikto.
Oh, very good. Okay. Yes, Klaatu Barada Nikto. Now, if you're worried about global warming, just say Klaatu Barada Nikto. And we'll wait 4 years and we'll see what happens, okay? Now, either the Earth will be in flames 4 years from now and people will be sweltering under record high temperatures consistently day after day, or they won't. If they are, then my plan didn't work, and I'm sorry, and well, we'll all die together. On the other hand, if in the year 2020 temperatures are consistent with what they've been right now, then you know that it worked. You'll know that just saying Klaatu Barada Nikto solved the problem, because we know that the international community didn't do anything, this fund didn't materialize, the EPA didn't do anything. So if temperatures are okay 4 years from now, then it can only be because of saying Klaatu Barada Nikto. And if 4 years from now you're still worried about global warming, and if, as I predict, the date is pushed back again, because global warming, let's face it, it really is a faith. And in a faith, when you predict a cataclysmic event to come at a certain time and it doesn't come, then what do? You push the date back, and that's what's going to happen, I predict. But if you're worried in 2020 whether they push the date back or not, then just say Klaatu Barada Nikto, and I am sure we will all be good for at least another 4 years. Okay, so long for now. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. Put my coffee down, and then two thumbs, okay, because we're all in this global warming crisis together, and I want us to be all healthy and happy. There you go, and bye-bye.